Hi everybody, welcome to Module 3. In this video we will talk about week 1 of Module 3, which will focus on child development. So the first thing that we always do is click on our overview tab. And of course we know that the topic this week is child development, and so that will be the text that you will read in our module reading. And it will give you a whole overview, understanding of the different developmental stages, and a full understanding of child development in literature. Once you've completed your reading, you are ready then to complete your reading organizer. Of course, your reading organizer is due Tuesday of the module. You are all doing a very good job with your reading organizers. I really like the attention to detail, as well as your own personal commentary that you're giving me, maybe for example, telling me some personal meaning that this has made for you, or just really kind of focusing on what the content is meaning for you. So I can really see you're making that personal connection. So keep up the good work there with your reading organizers. As a reminder, you need to answer all 3 of the questions, and the minimum word count for each question is 75 to 100 words. You can go over, there is no maximum, so if you're just in a roll and flowing and are going over 100 words, that's absolutely fine. But do be mindful to stay within that minimum so that you get full points. But keep up the good job, and thank you so much for your attention to detail. Okay, once you've submitted your reading organizer, you're ready to focus on your reading commentary. And this week is reading commentary number 4, which is the Giselle Dr. Seuss Award winners. So let's click on the link here to take a look at what we're doing. And your steps for completing this RC number 4 is to find 2 Giselle Award winners. By clicking this link here, it will show you all of the winners starting from 2018 all the way to 2006. There is no 2019 winner because we're not there yet. They haven't been chosen. But choose 2 of these books. You can choose a winner, or you could choose an honor book. That's fine. I just want you to choose one that really speaks to you. Once you've chosen your book, you will then be ready to make your initial post. And in your post, of course, you're going to include the title as well as the author. And then tell us what developmental stage you think that the book is intended for. This really just needs to be 2 to 3 sentences. And since you've already completed your reading organizer for the week, you should be able to answer this without any problem. The text will discuss the 4 stages of child development, which is infants, toddlers, early childhood, and early readers. So it's your job to decide which of those 4 the book is intended for. And then I want to see some support used in your text to explain why. So you can say, oh, I really think that this book is intended for early readers because, and then give me a support from the text on why you believe that's so. Make sure you're using language and definitions that are from your text to help you support your analysis there. Next question is, how does the book demonstrate creativity and imagination? And that should be about 2 to 3 sentences. What topic or idea does this book help students explore or learn about? In 2 to 3 sentences. And then, of course, attach an image to the thread to show the books that you've read. You are all doing a fantastic job checking out the books, or however you're getting them. But I'm hoping you're going to the library on a regular basis because they're all so far so good with being books in hand. So thank you so much for your photos of your books. Remember, they can be selfies. I always love selfies of you and your books. And if you are choosing to use an e-reader, just make sure you're taking a picture of the whole e-reader so that I can see that the book has been downloaded there. Great job, and do remember too that your initial post is due by Thursday, and don't forget your response posts. There is a reminder in Canvas to respond to your classmates by Sunday. It needs to be something that you remember yourself, but you definitely want to make sure that you are responding. It builds the conversation, it helps build the community in our classroom, it helps you explore additional books when you read your peers' analysis of different books. And then, of course, of nothing else, it gives you those 2 points on the rubric. So do make sure that you are responding to your 2 classmates by Sunday. You also have your very first literature study that is due this week. And this study is on the book Because of Winn-Dixie. And as I'm sure you've heard me suggest in previous videos, I hope that you are reading this book with young children, if you were to have access to them, maybe kids at home or sisters and brothers at home as well. If you do, it's so much fun. Children love this book. It's a great time. So I hope that you are reading it, and if you have access to kids to read it too, it makes it all the more fun. The assignment is that you are going to create your own picture book that is based off of Because of Winn-Dixie. You can do this in a PowerPoint. You can do this with pen and paper and draw and illustrate and write it out yourself and take pictures of it. So really it's however you want to present your picture book. But the way I want you to do it is there's 26 chapters in this book, and you will be focusing on one section at a time. So instead of focusing on a chapter at a time, where you would have to have 26 pages, you're really only going to have 5 pages or 5 slides in your PowerPoint, however you want to do it, that will break down the book. So your first section is going to focus strictly on chapters 1 to 5, second section, chapters 6 to 10, third, chapters 11 to 15, fourth, chapters 16 to 20, and last one, chapters 21 to 26. For each section, you will create an illustration of what captures the gist of the book. So for the first section, which is chapters 1 through 5, you'll create an illustration that captures what happened in the first 5 pages of the book. This can be done by hand. If you're an artist and you really like to draw, you can use pencils, colored pencils, markers, crayons, however you like it. If you want to draw it out, please do. If you're not feeling comfortable with that, I'm fine with doing having pictures by electronic means, if you will, meaning that you can grab pictures off the internet. As long as you are citing them, that's fine, as long as they're okay to use. Whatever you want to do, whether it be electronic illustrations or illustrated yourself, that is fine with me. And then underneath your illustration, you are going to write a brief summary in your own words of what happened in that particular section of the book. So if you're focusing on section 1, which is on chapters 1 to 5, you would draw an illustration of what happened in those first 5 chapters, as well as a brief synopsis in your own words of what happened. So as you are thinking about putting that together, think about the structure of the book. Think about when certain characters are introduced, when the setting is explained, when we are introduced to the particular problem of the story, and then how the plot begins to develop throughout the chapters. How characters begin to develop throughout each chapter, and then eventually when the problem is solved, etc. So the hope is that within your picture book, you will be able to describe all of these components of the story with your synopsis. So your submission should include 5 illustrations that capture the gist of each section. So ultimately 5 illustrations that capture the gist of the book itself, everything that it happened. And then supporting text for each section that include a synopsis or summary of what happened in that section that you're focusing on in your own words. If you are needing some help in getting started, you can use these sentence starters. So in this section we were introduced to, and then you could say the characters is setting the problem, or we learned more about certain characters, certain problems, etc. Or in this section, it ended with us wanting to learn more about the problem or the character and so on. When you use these sentence starters, it kind of helps you go beyond just the basic synopsis that you could read in the back of a book or in Cliff Notes, if you will. I really want you to dig deep, and for each section, as you're getting ready to build upon the next section, maybe leave us with a little cliffhanger of what we are left wanting more of. So those are just some points there that you might want to include. Now again, I am not too particular on how this is submitted. A lot of students choose to make this into a PowerPoint where they have created their digital illustrations on a slide and in the notes section write the summary. Some students really are wonderful artists and enjoy the idea of drawing it out, so they'll illustrate it by hand, take a picture of the illustration, and submit all the pictures. You could also take a picture of the illustrations, put them into your slides. I do think it is easier with your organization to use a PowerPoint type tool, but it is not mandatory. So if you use Word documents or other digital tools and scan things in individually, that's absolutely fine. Whatever is going to work for you. Just to make sure that it is all included. So you can see here, this is worth a total of 15 points. All of your literature studies will be 15 points. And again, we do have a total of 4 literature studies throughout the semester. 10 points is illustrations, 5 illustrations to capture the gist of the book. And 5 points for the synopsis of the supporting text, providing a synopsis or summary of the story in your own words for each of the sections. So 1 point per section. Okay, that is our first literature study. I hope that you have fun with it, and I always enjoy seeing the different illustrations that people come up with to describe the happenings within the story. Okay, that concludes what we have due this particular week, but if we jump back quick to our Child Development Overview tab, we will look here again to looking ahead that we have now completed Winn-Dixie this week. We've completed our first literature study, but as we know, there's always more to do and prepare for in children's literature. So it is time now to start on our second literature study book. So if you have not gotten a hold of the Hunger Games yet, now is the time to get it from the library or however you plan to get this book, so that you can start reading it for your second literature study. This will be done in Module 4. So in this class, things do start to speed up as we start moving along. So always important to be checking out this looking ahead section so you can stay on top of whatever the next literature study is or assignment might be. And then don't forget that next week you need to be bringing in some traditional literature books for the reading commentary. And if you are heading to the library for your Giselle Dr. Seuss Award winners and you want to go ahead and pick up your traditional literature story books, then here are the links to help you find those books as well, because I'm all about you having extra time on your hands, not always spent at the library every week. So if you can consolidate and grab all your books for the next couple of weeks in one shot, I'd love for you to be able to do that so that you have more time to focus on other things. All right, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful first week in Module 3. Please email me through Canvas with any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye for now.